1, 2, 3.
Welcome back. We're back in the kitchen. I'm me and you're you. I'm doing some Osso Bucco made with veal. As we were almost in a commercial, I was taking off the rest of the little bits of tendons and some other stuff, and just like the real world in a real kitchen. And I'm not going to hide it from you people, I'm going to tell you the truth. I totally whaled my finger with the knife. Not so bad, as you can see there's still 5 there, most of my nails still on there. It's good. The meat looks great. I did put a Band-Aid on there, it's sterilized, everything's good. You're not going to wind up with anything in your food tonight, I guarantee. So that's all cleaned up. What we're going to do is take it from here. I'm going to get a little oil here. A little canola oil. We're going to sear this thing off in what's called a rondo. This big pot is a rondo. You can tell it's a rondo because it's huge and it's very squatty. Mm-hmm. If it was not squatty and it was very tall, that'd be a stock pot, which most of the world knows a stock pot. They generally have them in there. I bet you don't have a rondo though. I'm lucky to have one. So what we're going to do is take the veal from here, from the veal area, and, tongs of peril.
What got you interested in taking culinary classes?
When I was a little kid, in my house, everybody worked. I think even the dog worked, had like a little paper route or something. And if you wanted to eat something in my house, you either had to wait for somebody to come home and fix some food for you. And I'm a big boy, so in my case, I couldn't wait. I didn't have the patience. So I started playing around with the food. I tried everything. You learn real fast what is very flavorful and what is not flavorful. I can tell you right off the bat, hot dogs and orange juice and cereal, not so good. I think I didn't eat food for about a week after that. I just looked at it. But so I got here, I have the veal shank in here now. I have this thing under a high heat, blasting, and I put some olive oil in there, canola oil. And I just want to get some color on it. And while that's going, I used to, before cooking I was actually a plumber, shortly. Did plumbing and heating for a little bit. I think before that I was a researcher for a health concern, trying to find fraudulent doctors that are totally milking the man. No, actually sounds terrible. Not milking the man, milking the system, that's it. And that's what I did. I got those guys, and we all lived happily ever after. What else?
What's your favorite style of cooking?
My favorite style of cooking is, I love Japanese cooking. I love everything that's foreign, I guess. I love Indian food. I like rice. I like fish. I like pork. I like, you go down to lima beans and boiled platypus, not so much. I don't know. I just don't like it. You might like boiled platypus, and that's all you. Not me.
What attracts you to foreign dishes?
Because I never had them before. When I was a kid, it was meat and potatoes in my house. Our sandwiches, cold cuts, ribs, chicken, which is all good. I love it. You love it. It's cool. Hamburgers, all that stuff. A lot of like casserole kind of stuff. But nothing, extraordinary. I mean, like the most exotic thing that we had as kids is probably like Chinese food. And we all know Chinese food. It's not really Chinese food anyway. It's American food. Don't you know?
What's going on with the veal over here?
So the deal with the veal is that I'm browning off. You can see a little, this is brown, in case you have black and white TV at home. And if you do, you should get color TV, people. That's brown. That's not so brown. So by browning, what you do is the misnomer is that you're sealing the meat. You're not searing the meat. Harold McGee from On Cooking, which is a brilliant man, more science-oriented in regards to cooking, says that you're not actually sealing anything, but what you're doing is you're creating more flavor when you're browning stuff. The sugars develop and all this other stuff, proteins, yada yada yada. Later on, sooner or later, we'll get a scientist who will verify that.
So after you sear it for X amount of time, what are you going to do with your...
So after we sear it, the next step is we're going to braise this. And this whole dish is a braise. And what a braise is that, in ye olden days, the poor people are the ones that had all the crummy meat. I didn't get none of it, but and so what they would do is that the rich people had, you know, the filet mignon and the strip steak and, you know, anything else that was really delicious and high end, and the poor people got veal shank and so on and so forth. The poor, and so with the poor cuts of meat, you had to cook it longer because they were usually, you know, not as tender. So you would cook these things for 3 to 6 hours in liquid, preferably a really highly flavored stock, and it would go like anywhere from 3 to 6 hours to come out amazingly tender. And that's what I'm shooting for. We're gonna have some outrageous veal. It's gonna be delicious.